DSJ Podcast, man. Make sure to subscribe, like, and share, man. We got so many podcasts coming out on the way and so many videos. But with that being said, we about to get into it. We lit. DSJ Podcast, man. How we doing today? Hope y'all doing good, man. We're doing a podcast. I'm doing one by myself. My boy Ro, he's doing something right now. Huh? He's doing something right now, and so you know what I'm saying, we're having a special guest on the podcast, and y'all know him. It's OG. We talked to OG. You know, OG has been on the podcast live many times. Been on a few podcast episodes a couple times, but we never did a podcast for him, and so you know, we're gonna introduce y'all to OG. OG, how you doing?
Doing all right, man. What about yourself?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, man. Just a few questions to ask you at first. Before we say this though, DSJ Podcast, y'all make sure to subscribe, like, and share. Let me do the scripture of the day, because I know a lot of cats been kind of wondering why we haven't been doing that in a long time. So we're gonna be doing the Bible scripture of the day. But before we do that, hope y'all doing good too. Thank y'all again for 415 subs. Y'all have been done wonderful. I've had a lot of people be more considerate of the podcast, and ask questions like, you know, when are you doing this? When are you doing that? It's been very amazing for y'all to just support me like that and support all of us like that for sure. So with that being said, yeah, thank y'all so much. The scripture is Psalms 27:14. Wait for the Lord to help you. Be strong and brave. Yes, wait for the Lord to help you. Can't wait, man. You gotta wait, because it's on God's timing. You can't do nothing without God. Like I said in a few episodes, can't do nothing without God. And so you just gotta continue to be patient with what the Lord wants you to do, because the Lord is going to help you out no matter what. Like I said, you know, we definitely all need help in our own rights and our own ways. We all are struggling in one thing at least, you know, so let's just do better. Let's just continue to be great. Let's continue to try to focus on the objective and be patient with the things that we can't control, because there's a lot of things we can't control. And like we said, we all want to be great. We all want to be millionaires. We all want to have cars and houses and yada yada. But as long as you doggone just do right and just be patient and just continue to strive for greatness, you'll get there. Trust me. Sometimes it takes a month, sometimes it takes a day, sometimes it takes a year, sometimes it takes 10 years. You know what I'm saying? You just got to be patient. Give it to God at the end of the day and let God just be your main focus, and continue to push forward on what you want to do in life, because, you know, we all got our time, but just got to make the most of it. Most of what we got going on, you know what I'm saying, right now. OG, you got anything to say about that?
Not really, man.
All right.
So this podcast is pretty much like an introductory for me, right?
Right.
Yeah, sure, man. I'm gonna let you go ahead and follow me up.
All right, man. OG. Mm-hmm. So you know how we kind of start these podcasts off, because you've been on a few of them. Yeah. Where are you from?
And I was born, raised in Atlanta, Georgia. Specifically, I was raised in a suburb west of Atlanta called Powder Springs, in Cobb County, Georgia, basically, off of Oxdale Road, which is about 25 minutes away from pretty much west Atlanta.
Gotcha. Where did you go to school? Like high school?
Obviously, you know, my family moved to South Carolina around 2010. So I went to high school at Westwood, right, Columbia, South Carolina.
Right. Yeah, anyone knows Westwood, there was my pastor, one of my co-pastors worked at Westwood as a principal. His name was Bruce Davis.
Yep, I know Mr. Davis.
Yeah, so shout out to Mr. Davis, man. For sure.
Mr. Davis, man.
Yeah, man. Did you play
He
any?
knows. He knows about me.
Yeah.
I played. You know. Go
Yeah.
ahead. My bad.
No, you good, dog. I was gonna ask, do you play any sports in high school? Did you play any sports in middle school? And
I
if so,
played. Middle school. I played. Middle school, high school. I played AAU ball.
got you. How was that like?
Pretty much just like traveling, playing in tournaments and whatnot. Um, go against competition. Go against competition. Same thing. Same thing with high school and BT. Just gotta go against competition, go against teams. Um, Pretty much, test your mental work ethic and whatnot. And you just compete. And, you carry those. You just kind of carry those traits on you into life. Sports. Now, sports is very. Sports is kind of a precursor to what you kind of deal with in life. So
Right.
yeah.
Have you played against anybody that's in the NBA right now?
Yeah, man. I played against Ja and Russ back in middle school, in one of and in fact they hosted a tournament, man. So Ja and Zion were a part of like the South Carolina Blue Devils,
Right.
and that's pretty much like the all star of South Carolina hoopers and whatnot. And they hosted the tournament. Everybody know how good they were. We were kind of one of the teams that were good. Not, I guess, on the lower end, just because, we're all from the local area, basically.
Right.
But, we competed in that tournament. We won some, went against them. Like I told y'all before, we were in middle school, so, you don't really recognize that as Ja or Zion. You just see it as, like, kids.
Right.
But I recognize like one of Ja's boy, the dark skin, boy, kind of like in his video where he was where he got caught with the gun charge again. Basically, the boy who took the video.
Right.
I remember him. I don't know his name. I remember him giving us like trouble, especially our point guard at the time trouble. He was giving us some. I remember that face though.
I got you. Did you think they would translate, in the league when you
once I saw like Zion, around that time, Zion was the bigger prospect in high school, man. For me, it was more like I was just kind of paying attention to, PJ Dozier more than anything because he was just right near us over Valley. And then, that's pretty much our head coach's nephew.
Right.
So, but once by the time Zion kind of got known around the world, man, I kind of stopped playing. I stopped playing high school basketball, but and then AAU, and then same thing with AAU. I kind of stopped playing basketball for a little bit, but I can tell that man, the dude was a freshman, man. But he just swelled up and big and got like swelled up and just kind of got big. So
right, for sure.
Yeah. But when I faced him, like I said, when we talk about reference, I didn't know that was them. It was just like going against kids.
Right.
And it's kind of hard to tell who can kind of go to the league around middle school, man. I know the name that everybody kept popping up so much around that time was like Seventh Woods.
Oh yes.
You remember that name?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Seventh Woods was kind of like the most popular name around that time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, it feels like, I don't know. I never really played anything like basketball. Trust me, I'm not a hooper. Just to let y'all know. I was more of a football guy. I don't think anybody. We played versus a lot of people, but I don't think anyone really. There's a lot of people that went to different colleges. Newberry. One went to One just recently. Rose just told me recently. One of the guys that we knew went to Fayetteville State. Just transferred to Fayetteville State. And then that's kind of like D2. I think D2 going into D1. And like, what I'm saying? It's like, it's real good that we see, players from South Carolina actually trying to produce and become NBA, legends or NBA players or NFL players. You know what I'm saying? We got a lot of cats from South Carolina that y'all don't know right now.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. On the football side, I feel like we get recognized, for this talent of football. it's just a pipeline state for a lot of people. I think basketball people are starting to realize because South Carolina, to me, South Carolina is one of them states, and I'm pretty sure you can in the other Hooper states can kind of attest to this.
Yeah.
We really got really good players that never were on like a high school team, right?
Right.
And whether it be like some just didn't want to do it. I know my boy Q, he had like a sickle cell problem, so he felt like that always kind of felt like it could kind of be like a detriment to him kind of playing on that on an organized, not an organized level, but basically on like I guess like a structure like high school. And Q could play. Lawrence had the best handles in our whole entire school, man. But
right,
man, he good, Some of them cats just run into like different sort of problems that kind of get them in trouble where they could be on a school team. But trust me, man, that state has full with people. Like, we got a lot of good hoopers that they didn't need to play on high school for you to know that they're good, man. And I feel like there's other states like that too. So, like you said, I'm glad. I am glad that John Zion is finally, giving South Carolina its basketball name.
right.
Same thing with Gigi as well too. So now people can kind of actually pay attention to our basketball culture, and we get talking about our runs that we have that can be same thing like anybody else at the YMCA. The biggest tournament that we have here is Peach Jam,
Right, for sure.
Falls League in Columbia as well too.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, we just got an underrated basketball culture, man. And you met, we met a lot of, I met a lot of good people through basketball.
Right, for sure.
So it's just like, I'm glad they're giving the state notoriety, the hoop culture down here.
Right.
It is different,
Right.
It is different.
I would say this. There was one year, you know this personally, but just for the people that may not know, Matt Barnes had came down here. There's a thing that they do every year. Well, they've done it for the last couple of years, where they have Peach Jam tournaments in our gym. And it was 2 summers ago when I came back from a spring trip, from a summer retreat, for campus outreach, and I was able to see some of the games in the gym. And I got to take a picture with Matt Barnes. I don't know if I could find it on Instagram and probably show y'all, but I was able to see Matt Barnes, and it was kind of cool because it's like, man, hey, man, we're one of the schools that can have Peach Jam tournaments, and people can come to our dorm or our convocation basketball center and just hoop, big time names. CP3 was across Augusta, I think. Maybe last year he was in Augusta or
it's one of them AAU circuits probably.
Right. So it's like, man, South Carolina is becoming that big time, basketball like area that people could come to and just hoop. You know what I'm saying? Because I know Matt Barnes is from California. Is he from California?
Yeah, California. I get. Yeah, I guess ever since we kind of lifted that Confederate ban, I know that's the reason for why a lot of the time South Carolina never had like tournaments.
Right, for sure.
Even on like a travel ball level, like what EYBL and Peach Jam and AAU have.
Right.
It's like the only thing we had for them was just like our local high school tournament, which is. I don't know why the name is slipping me, man. But I mean, people who listen to it know it, man.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, man. I remember you telling me that. I was surprised by that too. I said, man, all these big boy AAU tournament coming over here to South Carolina playing Aiken.
Right.
Hey, you said, hopefully, like you said, when they come over here. Hopefully, like you said, when they come over here, they can kind of, understand, like, hey, we got talent here, man.
Yeah, we do. For sure. I mean, I get it. Everyone in California, Florida, Georgia, they got the talent, but there's some dogs that's coming up these next couple of years, for sure.
Yeah, specifically basketball.
Yeah, for sure. Speaking of, so you went to college here.
Yep.
What was your major?
Biology.
What made you choose biology?
As a kid, man, I was always interested in animals. My father, my weekends, like growing up in Atlanta, Georgia, right? I would I would spend a lot of time at the parks,
Right.
library. My father kept me involved in like parks, library. Just kind of out. I was just kind of out in nature, and I just had like an affinity for animals always. So I would be like the first one to watch an animal documentary through on TV, and then it just evolved into like different sciences when I kind of got older. So I already kind of knew what I kind of wanted to do. Originally, I kind of wanted to be a marine biologist, but I realized that Coastal was kind of like the only college that offered that. But I said, you know what, it'll probably be something that I'll probably delve into later on when I get older. I had to scuba dive and whatnot. Right. But that's what kind of got me into the major, man. It started from me just having affinity for like nature and animals.
Right. Okay. What did you enjoy most about college?
And what I enjoyed most about college, man, I would say probably just meeting different people. Yeah. I said there's like a cast of characters, class of different perspectives that I saw in college that kind of stayed with me today. Mm-hmm. Meeting y'all, and then before meeting y'all too, I just learned. I learned a lot about life through other perspectives of people, and I kind of hold that dear.
Right.
So I guess what I enjoyed the most about college was just experience, experience, and just kind of slowly developing into like an adult and being the person I am today. So
that's true.
That's what I'm thankful for, man. Of course, even like the internships that I had over here too, man. Was like one of the best times of my life, and like I said, man, it was just experiences from different people that made it that way. So
Right. I guess for me, like I said again, so far I'm a sophomore. It's very nice, man. Like the community of people, just a lot of people that have great conversations. Like even today, me and my coworker just had like a great conversation about video editing and some stuff like that. So many times you look at people and you think that you may not ever talk to them, and then you eventually find some way to talk to them. Whether that's just from school, whether that's just from what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of good community. There's a lot of good community out here. It's a lot of wonders, cause, huh?
I'm still listening.
Oh, it's a lot of wonders around Aiken, especially when you're not from here. If you're from somewhere and you've never been there, if you're from somewhere different and you've never been to a place, a lot of us get skeptical at first because we just trying to figure out like what is it. If y'all don't know, Aiken is a small town. Like for the ones that do know Aiken, of course y'all know, but for the ones that is looking outside in, Aiken is a very small town. It's like we call it a horse town because it's just what it is. Like
one way in, one way out.
Right.
Once you get past some cornfields, you're downtown. You keep going west, but you end up in Augusta. So I did, you got something to do there.
Right. You got something to do there. I mean, there's some things to do here too, but it's not as like much as going to Augusta or Columbia.
Right.
So just gotta find the best stuff around here. If you want to go, there's a Papa John's if you want to go grab some pizza or something like that.
You went straight for food.
Yeah, I went straight because I'm hungry as hell. I haven't eaten that day. But
there's Papa John's everywhere though.
Yeah, I know there's Papa John's everywhere, but like I said, dog, just it's some good places around here. If we're talking food, it's some things you can do here. You know what I'm saying? Not much to do in Aiken. Like I said, recommend just going to Augusta or Columbia or you know what I'm saying? But for sure, the skepticism at first and being here for now almost 3 years, it's definitely real good. Aiken is low key fun. I don't go out much.
I say it like this. I say, it's not, I'm talking about kind of from like a student's perspective. So,
Right.
Even if you're attending or enrolling to University of South Carolina, it isn't the town itself, but it's the people that's here on campus,
Right.
surrounding it. That'll make that'll just kind of make the experience something that you'll hold on to in life.
Right.
You know,
Right.
just kind of look back on your life, just be like, at this part of my stage of life, I had fun, I learned a lot, and I appreciate it.
Right. For sure.
So I feel like
And also, like you said, anywhere in school, like if you've experienced something, you always gonna experience something whether you're in school or not. But just a lot of the friendships that you build with people, they don't always last forever. Let's not get that twisted. But a lot of friendships that you experience, man, that's probably the best part. Like I said, personally, a lot of conversations that I've had, they've been real good with people that I may not know or that I do know. Yeah, I think that's the best part about college. Of course, they got the parties and stuff like that, but for someone who don't party, like that's kind of like the thing that I focus on more than anything, like just the friendships and the bonds that I make with people. So yeah, with that being said, let's move on to what do you do now as a job position?
what I do now is kind of what my degree kind of took me to. Obviously, when I kind of graduated, I was kind of looking for jobs and whatnot. Got a job up in Durham. Originally, little contract at a lab at a little clinical diagnostics company. Had my time there. Really didn't like it. Parted ways. Did a little bit of a filler job while I was looking for a job within my degree, and then I found this nice company that pretty much that I won't, I will not name.
Yeah, I got you.
But pretty much a nice company that pretty much is pretty much in the process of kind of creating like bio cement. So pretty much, just kind of breaking down the most simplest forms. They're just using material, pretty much materials from the environment to make cement. Right. So dirt, stones, sand, and then then the trick is the fact they'll add some bacteria to it to kind of calcify the process, which just pretty much means hardening the process, and that's kind of what I do. Basically, right. I'm an operations tech there.
I got you. It sounds like me and you talk a lot, so it sounds real fun. When you hear from that perspective, I haven't heard that part yet. For sure, man.
It's fun, man. I like what I do.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. Is there anything that you want to do in the future? I know we've had talks about, want your own business. So,
yeah.
What is that you wanted to do? I know.
So my whole MO, right, when it comes to kind of opening a business, right? My main thing that I know what I kind of wanted in life before I kind of leave this earth was to, I just kind of wanted to be an asset to the Black community around me wherever I ended up at. So, whether that could be physical, financial, or spiritual, I wanted to be that complete person where I could just kind of be that. And in my head, I thought of a way of doing that was just like, all right, let me go ahead and try to, I guess my business, like my final product of what I always I wanted to do. I would have created like a setting, kind of like a setting that's kind of like a YMCA setting or like a recreational setting that kind of encompasses like all that. Like, providing resources to the community, like through STEM and technology.
Right.
Just a place where other people can learn different skills and trades and assets like that. Evoking creation amongst like the young adults or any other big middle-aged senior, because creativity never stops. Yeah. So I just wanted to create just pretty much like an environment that just kind of like festers all the things that can pretty much create capital. And, you know, capital is wealth, and capital wealth equals freedom. So,
Right, for sure.
and that was pretty much, you know, that's pretty much my goal intended in life. I got an idea of how it kind of looks like, how it's gonna look like, but you know, I still don't. Still kind of like a process that I'm figuring out. But you know, pretty much, that's pretty much kind of my purpose. So
I got you.
I already know I'll eventually figure it out.
Yeah. That sounds real good. Like, low-key, as long as you know, I told you this before, as long as you just have a plan ahead, a plan, that's all that matters. You know what I'm saying? It takes time. You know what I'm saying? Just to get to that next step sometimes. So, you know,
exactly.
just you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to you as I would talk to you on the phone. Just doggone, you know, just keep on going after it, because you know you got this.
Exactly, man. I think exactly, man. You know, you told me something earlier that, you know, before like, when I left, and you know, once I left y'all, when I kind of visited y'all, you know, you told me something that stayed with me, was just pretty, you know, basically like, hey, go ahead and make your change on the world, man. Leave an imprint, man. And you know, I told myself, I got y'all, man. It's gonna happen, and you know,
for sure. Because I mean, for like, you got the capabilities of doggone doing it. You know what I'm saying? It's just the fact of the matter is, like, just trying to build the impact in the world. Whether that's you doing your job, or whether that's doing your business that you want to do. Just try to leave an impact into the world, because there's somebody that's going to take over. Like, when we all gone, there's someone else that's going to take over your position. And they're going to continue to become, or they're going to try to probably bring on your legacy, just in case, let's say you got kids, you have kids, or you have, you know, family, your own family, you know what I'm saying? They're going to try to take your footsteps, but make it their own.
Or even like your mentorees. You know, you have to, you know, sometimes it doesn't have to be family. It could just be somebody that has the same ambition that I did. And shoot, if he wants to take over the realms, I got no problem to give it to him if he's showing that same amount of passion.
Right. Like, for me, y'all don't know, but like, and y'all probably can tell from when I post stuff like motivational, but like, there's always a lot of cats around campus or whatever they're at, you know, always coming to me for advice. And like I said, like, you know, it's like a thing that I'm trying to eventually, with my kids or so, pass on to them, because, you know what I'm saying, the world doesn't always have to be so negative. There could be some positive people in this world. And if I could be a part of that positivity of the world, you know, and try to change something, whether that's from perspectives of what I've gone through, or whether that's perspectives of me just listening to people that gone through a lot, you know, that's just kind of like how I am. That's how my dad just raised me, you know what I'm saying? Of course, it was hard at first, you know, because you're like, bro, I've gone through worse than you. That's kind of like the ego thing about that. But especially when you've actually figured out what you want to do in your own life, and you've become mature, and you're 22. I'm 22 now, you know, so it's like, you kind of understand the perspective that you coming from, or where I'm coming from. It's like, I'm gonna have, God willing, I'm gonna have kids, I'm gonna have a family, I'm gonna have a wife, I'm gonna have everything else that, you know, praying to God, I hope I could get to. You know what I'm saying? And so, first thing is first is like, if I could just be that leader, or if I can help with somebody just by hearing, or just someone pull me aside and just want to talk, man. Like, that's kind of like the way I want to do it, man. And so, like how you said it, man, just, or, you know, just business side of it, you know, got to leave an impact on what you want to do, because there's a lot of cats out here that's waiting for you to do something to see it. And yeah, man, it's just, you know, how life is sometimes. You just got to do what you got to do. And so, whatever you are, the viewer, whether that's you doing your job, or whether that's you being a leader in the community by picking up litter or doing something, Like I told OG, just leave an imprint. Try to change the world the best way you can, because there's a lot of stuff going on. As y'all know, y'all got the election. Make sure to go vote. I never talk about stuff like that on the podcast, but make sure to go vote.
Yeah, make sure to go vote.
You know what I'm saying? Like how they tell me all the time, each and every vote matters. So you just gotta gotta vote.
If you don't like, hypothetically say if you don't like both candidates, you are able to write in. Okay.
Right, for sure.
Able to write in, or you are able to do a down ballot for both parties. So. Yeah.
Right, and like we said, no one's picking sides when we say this, but you can choose whoever.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Choose whoever. Like we said, we'll keep things to ourselves. Do not ask us. Like podcast, please do not ask us who we vote for, because like I said, I don't like politics personally. And like I said, we just want to keep this a podcast that's not politic based. We're just only gonna tell you to vote because we got to. This is the decision to decide where do you want to go. You know what I'm saying? So,
I would say, you vote. I would say kind of you just like for presidential election, you should just kind of vote. I don't want to make it seem like it's some sort of ritual, because it's more like I just want people to just kind of engage the political process, right? Yeah, and that's kind of the nice thing with that.
Right.
I really don't care who you vote for. Like I said, if you write in your own name, why not? I just want people to kind of participate in the political process, man.
Right.
I get it, pretty much, man. Look, I get it. I kind of feel like this is a pocketbook election, and the everyday average person is really kind of waiting for change, kind of waiting for actual change more than kind of identity politics. So, if enough of you guys just kind of go in there and then pretty much just write in a vote, I feel like that leaves an impact. Right. And then, of course, the most important thing is to kind of vote in your local elections as well too, and be just kind of be involved in there too. Just kind of be involved with your candidates, pressure them if there's certain policy that you kind of want to be enacted. If you want to be enacted and brought up when it comes to these circles, and if not, shoot, just like Dr. King says, hey, just kind of be, you got elected yourself,
right?
For office,
for sure.
So it's just like, like these says, we don't really like talk politics on here, but it's just more like, hey, it ain't really got to be about politics, but it's just gonna be like. You're a citizen here, why not just kind of be involved in this process, especially locally?
For sure. And like we said, man, you got time. You got to vote. Vote till November. You know what I'm saying? Election day is November 5th, I think. So make sure to vote. Got a fella walking in here. If y'all see somebody, trash ain't in here, but if you see him walking in here, he asks questions and then understand. Me and Buddy cool in here. But that being said, I heard you're a Vikings fan, man. I know I get that I get that how you feel, you know what I'm saying? Well, maybe not, because I am a Ravens fan.
Right.
And we've had that talk, but what made you a Minnesota Viking fan? I probably know this.
So I got into football like real late, man. Not until I came up here, I really got into football. I'm not sure what it was that made me kind of got into it kind of late.
Right.
But as a youngin, I was always obsessed with basketball. So that was kind of my first love. And like the first game I ever really got was like NBA Live 06, and it was already like 2 years old by the time I got to it. And like I used to just kind of play like KG on the game because he was one of the highest overall players. So this is like his last year in Minnesota. I used to play with KG a lot, and then I was like, all right, let me just go ahead and get like another Minnesota team when I came to watching football, and then I saw Adrian Peterson have my last name, and then I said, let me go ahead and pick the other Minnesota team, and then I was a Vikings fan ever since. To be honest with you.
Yeah, that's how it be though. As a Ravens fan, I was into football. I didn't really get into football until like 2012, 2013. Well, I ain't gonna lie. I was raised with football, Georgia fan. My dad always cut on Georgia games as a youngin. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't really get into the NFL until like 2013, 2012. Because I would watch highlights. It would just be me watching hardest hits highlights. I still do that to this day. And then I saw 52 in black and purple. I'm like, who is this? He had them little spiked helmet. If y'all ever seen his helmet, we had like all them bars against each other. I'm like, bro, this dude looked like a monster out there. He would just light people up. Then I saw number 20. I'm like, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? He playing safety. And man, they got me into Baltimore Raven football for sure.
The rest is history.
Right.
Basically.
Right. It was just because my favorite color is red, so
right.
It was just so nice to see purple and black together. It was like, man, what is this color combination? I just love it. Then the jerseys back then, it was just nice. My favorite jerseys are, it might be weird to y'all, but the '99 ones that they wore. But you know what I'm saying. And the Ravens keep it simple too with jerseys and stuff nowadays. So, yeah, man, that's just my reason, my take on me becoming a Ravens fan, even though I probably mentioned it a few times before on the podcast. You there?
I'm still here. Did you? My bad. You asked something?
No, I'm done. I was done with what I had to say about that.
Oh, yeah, sure. Yeah. I stuck on my Vikings for then and then, man.
Right.
Through bad, worse, indifferent. It's been a lot of indifferent for these last couple of years, to be honest with you, man. I guess the magic. I don't know, man. I guess you could say like the magical. I can't even call it magical. It's just like there's a different perspective when you watch the NFL when you were young, man. Right. Just kind of like a different perspective. But once you kind of get older, you kind of know what's going on. You know the schemes and everything. It's just, it just kind of loses novelty. You just like, whatever. It's more like a critique more than just enjoying it.
Right. So I gotta ask you then, who's your favorite Minnesota Viking player of all time?
Probably AP, man.
AP.
It's great fact it is AP.
Gotcha. Okay, I thought you were gonna go back in like the '90s or '80s or something like that.
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it live. I only went back and saw it through like clips or whatnot. So it's just like it's all the same weight. I've actually kind of watched it, and I saw AP.
Yeah, I did see AP too.
Saw AP, and then Teddy's a close second. But
right.
It's AP, man.
Okay, for me, if I'm gonna try to avoid Ray Lewis because I already know that's easy. I know if y'all are Green Bay fans or if y'all are Detroit fans or whatever, like y'all gonna of course be like, well, you should choose Adrian Peterson, but you know what I'm saying, everyone has their own preference. You may like someone like doggone Barry Sanders, so
I do.
yeah. I mean, you don't have it's personal preference, but for me, favorite Baltimore Raven fan outside of Ray Lewis. It has to be. Excuse me. It has to be. I haven't thought about that because I'm like, I haven't watched football in such a long time. But I feel like underratedly, it has to be.
Yeah.
It has to be freaking Loc'd Nada or
I'll tell you what. Before you finish that thought, I'm gonna try to see it like this. I'm trying to put it like this. all right, when you was like in middle school and y'all was just arguing with your boys, like say if your boys' team was just about to face the Ravens, right?
Right.
And you know, you was just like, man, I know you not talking. Wait until such and such comes, man.
So then that's past Ray Lewis.
That's Ray Lewis, basically.
Yeah, it's past Ray Lewis because Ray retired in 2012.
Right.
I didn't get into middle school until 2014.
So I just kind of want to know who's that player where it's just like, because that's how I used to bring up AP because you know I got into the NFL around like 2009, a little bit 08, but a little bit at 08, but I was like, anytime we just talk, I was like, man, how y'all gonna start AP though? I mean, you could load the box all you want, but it's just like AP. Who was that for you with the Ravens? It's just like
Terrell Suggs.
There you go, man. T. Sizzle's that guy. T. Sizzle's your guy, then.
Mm-hmm. Terrell Suggs, that boy, low key could be one of the greatest linebackers. Well, he's definitely one of the greatest linebackers in Ravens history, but he could be definitely talked about as one of the greatest linebackers that ever played.
I think so too.
The thing is, though, he don't get the same consideration because it's like the other cats are shortly better to highly better than Terrell Suggs in a way. You know what I'm saying? Because Terrell ain't playing coverage. Terrell's not a coverage linebacker. Like, he'll get his picks and stuff like that, but he was getting busy. He would get busy in the line, and so it's like he don't get talked about enough. Now, of course, with recent stuff that happened, even though it's almost a year ago, where him getting in trouble over stuff. Terrell Suggs was dangerous. I think he won like one Defensive Player of the Year.
I feel like two.
I feel like two Defensive Player of the Years. I think a 11, 12-time Pro Bowler.
You ain't gonna tell me about T. Sizzle, man. You was like,
I know.
No, I know. I already know Terrell Suggs was a real deal when you had to face him, man.
Right, man. And like I said, I wish he retired a Raven because, you know, he won another Super Bowl with Kansas City, which is nasty work. But it's like, you know, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Ed had to go to Ed went to New York and Houston after, you know, being there for like 10, 11 years. So it's like,
kind of speaking about that kind of situation about players kind of leaving their teams. I kind of forgot how Ed left the Ravens. I don't know if it was on a good note, bad note, or like a different note.
So I watched the podcast episode. You know, I forgot that guy, Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick has his own podcast, not his show, but it's like a podcast that they feature like sports players, any type of sports players that played in NFL. And Ray said that, not Ray. Ed said that they left on bad terms. I think he was injured that year, and then they didn't want to resign him.
Right.
And so Ed just chose to go to free agency, and he went to New York. So that's how it kind of went though. For that, for Ed, he said it was bad terms. So he still supports the Ravens. Now, he's not like he has bad blood, and you know what I'm saying, he don't go to any of the games that they like packed up in there. If Ray's going, Ed most likely will be there. So it's not like let me think. I don't know. There was one player I forgot his name. He just can't stand his own team that drafted him, and released him at like the end. So, Steve Smith. It's not like Steve Smith, you know, because Steve Smith like trash talked the mess out of him, like out of Carolina when they played versus us that year.
So for Ed, it was just more like, I already know what it's gonna be.
Yeah, he already knows what it's gonna be. Plus, he's in his early 30s, and you know they don't want to They don't want to keep no safety that's early 30s and getting injury prone.
Yeah, you know for that contract, I guess I speak, but and they did I was watching like the 2510 podcast, man, with LaShawn and Deshaun.
Right.
Sean McCoy, Deshaun Jackson. And man, they had Gerald McCoy up there, man. And I almost forgot how it's like when Gerald McCoy left, it was really under the wraps. And, you know, it was kind of weird situation, too, because it was like, so I was like, man, Gerald McCoy's still a good player, man. Why did they want to keep him?
Yeah,
And Gerald McCoy explained it himself, too. It's just like, he couldn't explain it either. He just know that the vibe was off. They didn't, you know, when it came to like them kind of speaking on, you know how everybody kind of has their team captains.
Right.
Gerald wasn't picked, and he was like, 6-time Pro Bowler there. And then when it comes to like now, you know, team leaders speaking before every game, Gerald said he never did it that last season before, you know, the season before Bruce Arians came.
Right.
And they said they never did it. So Gerald, he never did it. Like he said, like D-Jack got to speak, you know, Quan got to speak, Alexander and Jameis got to speak, but not Gerald. You know, 6-time Pro Bowl, pretty much the guy for real.
Right. He's another one of those defensive players that should have had the Super Bowl on his name.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know if Gerald McCoy will ever get a hold of this, man. But no, man, people recognize how good you were, man. Like you were right. You are right. When it was Tampa in the early 2010s, all the way up until like 2018, you were pretty much the name I thought of when it came to Tampa.
Right, productive as hell.
Mm-hmm.
Quan, and Levante.
Yeah.
That was the main three they was talking about.
And Quan's just a young boy still too, man.
Right. Quan, they did Quan 30 too.
Yeah, they did.
I think they did Quan 30 because Quan was getting consistent like tackle rates every doggone year. Consistent picks.
I don't know why they let him go. Was it the injury or something?
I don't know either. I think the last time I saw him, he was a Jet. I don't know who he's with right now, but man,
he might be done. But look at man, just check this out though, because that's not even like the worst part of the story. So you know Warren Sapp, man. So you know Gerald McCoy said that Warren Sapp always used to talk to Gerald when he came in the league.
Right.
Teaching him how to do pass rush moves and be a better pass rusher and defensive tackle. Right? Because you know Gerald said he wasn't learning that through like the franchise. So, you know, Warren always was in his corner. So in that whole situation when Gerald McCoy left, and then, you know, Gerald was kind of bringing up a situation where they not even a year had passed, you give Ndamukong Suh his number.
Yeah, they did.
And then, you know, and then, you know, it was like a question asked on NFL Network about it. And then, you know, Warren Sapp, man, and this is what Warren Sapp does at times too. I don't know if it's the CTE kicking in, but it's just like Warren Sapp was just like, well, what did Gerald do, man? Because all the retired numbers here were, were Super Bowl or Hall of Famers, you know, and all that stuff, right?
Man,
but it's like that's not even a reference. That's not even like a frame. That's not even look. And the way the question was asked, what Warren's answer had nothing to do with that. So you know, of course, Gerald took it the wrong way, but you know, took it a sort of way. But Gerald said, you know, he tried to contact him as soon as possible. Warren didn't pick up, and Warren didn't pick up, and then you know, once Gerald was kind of out the league, and then like I think like you said, like a Dan Patrick interview or somebody, that's when Warren called him. He was like, man, what's the beef between you and me? You know, Gerald explained the story. Like, you don't remember, like, back then when I left, you said this. You know, Warren said, oh, no, man, you took it out of context. But it's just like I said, D, it's just like, it's like Gerald was still playing, like his career wasn't done. We don't know if Gerald is going to the Hall of Fame or not.
Right.
But it's just like, we're not asking you to retire the number. We just saying that, hey, man, Gerald put in work for this franchise and did a lot of things off and on the field that is worthy of noting that we should have been giving his number out in like a year.
Right.
But
At
yeah,
least
man.
3, 4, 5 years, and at least if you want to be respectful,
Yeah,
call Gerald McCoy and ask him if they can use 93, because that's more
man,
respectful than just giving 93 to somebody that might be a scrub.
it was true. But I guess with Sue being a vet, and him and Gerald kind of came in the same time, man, and they kind of equal on talent level. It's kind of like, that ain't gonna happen. So that is kind of on like equipment manager, like, hey, just kind of, even though I think Gerald said one of the guys told him like, don't give out 93, but
I'll say this too about Warren. Warren, I think his last 3 years of his career, he went to the
yeah,
Raiders.
yeah, I think so.
Wouldn't they
Yeah,
say the same thing about him doing that? Even though Warren did a lot more. Warren did do a lot now. But wouldn't they, that would just kind of be like saying that he don't deserve to wear 99, or 99 don't deserve to be retired because he didn't play for the Tampa Bay for the rest of his career. Like, it just don't seem right.
I guess the argument is different because Warren actually, I mean, Warren is a Hall of Famer in Tampa. And it's more like, my thing is, it's just like with Warren's stance on it, it's just like, well, your answer has nothing to do with like what they're asking. So it's just like, and it just kind of comes off of like BS, you know.
Warren tends to do that a lot. Even
Right, he did.
like, I'm not saying this because like I said, Warren rare, if you apparently see this, I don't know. This is no disrespect. It's just a topic.
No, exactly. No disrespect. You a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
You one of the greats in this game, man. But I'll put it like this. I can articulate it. It's just like, sometimes like your opinions get you into a corner. Just kind of like the situation with Cam and what's a game changer versus
I forgot.
game manager.
You talking about
Conversation, right?
Game manager, yeah, I saw that.
And then the Cam had to tell Warren what his definition of game manager and game changer is, and then Warren says, "I agree." And then you sat there and insulted Cam basically before y'all sat there and had a conversation, man. So it's just like, sometimes, man, you just get yourself into a corner when it doesn't have to be.
Right. And Warren, you probably you're one of the greatest defensive tackles that ever played the game.
Yeah.
And I would say this, man. You don't have to base everybody, and this is kind of like with anybody that is in the Hall of Fame. You don't have to base everybody to be a Hall of Famer to be good. You know what I'm saying? Gerald McCoy did his thing when he was with Tampa. For sure. He did his thing at Tampa. Now, of course, a lot of people don't detect the tackles like Aaron Donald, like they did Aaron Donald. So of course,
Right.
Gerald McCoy don't get that same recognition.
But he still did. But he still put up an impressive resume which can't be replicated easy.
Right.
So he's one of the cornerstones of your franchise. I just, Warren, you've been with the kids since he's been drafted. Teaching them. It's just like, hey man, just show him the love.
Show the love.
Yeah.
You showing Levante and you show Levante and freaking Winfield love. Show Gerald McCoy some love, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I
I think the situation maybe mended itself. I think Warren has no ill feelings towards Gerald McCoy.
Yeah.
But just, hearing it over the podcast, Gerald McCoy explaining the story, it is just kind of like, man, Warren, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of simplified. I'll say the same thing. I think a lot of NFL players are like that, man. Where they kind of have their ego in the way. Like I heard before this whole situation with CeeDee Lamb, like where he could wear 88. Of course, Dez approved, and Michael Irvin approved, right? But then we got cats like let me think. We got cats like even Deion Sanders, 21 could be retired for the Cowboys, right? And we saw what's that corner, the rookie corner? We saw him wear it.
Yeah, Deion kind of bounced around teams to kind of get his jersey retired. Right. I know 21 in Atlanta might be sacred a little bit more than Dallas.
Well, Trufant wore 21 when he was there.
Right. And, it's because Deion kind of bounced teams. I think, Dion's one of the athletes that kind of transcends like franchise loyalty. It's just more like when you wear 21, we know it's in football. We know, oh yeah, Dion.
Right.
Everybody's kind of paying homage. It's just like him kind of making that number. Even a lot of people wore 21 before Dion. It's just like that's what we just be associated with.
Right.
I would say like you said, the '88 thing. Even though I know that's like the cowboy thing that Jerry started. You know, Drew Pearson being like the first, then Michael Irvin, then Dez, and then now CD carries on the tradition.
I saw someone make a video about Bob Hayes, right? He was wearing number 22. He said he don't understand how 22 wasn't retired there and how Emmett got 22. Now, see, Bob Hayes played, I think, in the 60s and 70s. And so
yeah, he did.
For his time, for Bob Hayes' time, of course, he was one of those receivers you never thought, like, at least in the 60s, you'd be like, whoa. He's different.
He was a guy. He was an elite player in his time, but objectively, I mean, it's Emmett. It's Emmett Smith, right?
Yeah, it's Emmett. Emmett is, well, he's not recommended. He's not talked about as the best running back ever, because a lot of people mention Walter Payton. A lot of people mentions a lot of other people. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna say Bo Jackson, but he got hurt. Barry Sanders. They mentioned Barry Sanders. You know what I'm saying? They mentioned a lot of these running backs, and so. It's kind of weird, like just overall in general, it's kind of weird that people just base it on Hall of Fame. It's like that in the NBA too, where we'll talk about one last thing too, because it's getting to an hour, but where like we got young cats, man. It's kind of a good transition too. We talk about young cats, man, that watches basketball, right? And they say that they can do the move. Like me and OG, we've had a conversation, and I'm gonna try to throw some storage away as I say this. But me and OG, like, we had this conversation because there's these young cats that think they can just beat KG or beat somebody, some NBA player. It's like,
right.
I
can put some more context into it, D.
Right.
It's more like, I don't know about y'all, but there's just like I don't know. Maybe because I was watching NBA and hoop at a young age, man. I just feel like there was just like a culture shift of how like NBA discussions have gone. Right? It used to be like, my guy got the win and he did this, or whether if your guy lost or won, it was more like, hey, still got off, did his thing on you.
Right.
And then somehow, I don't know, I felt like when the debate show started kind of getting more prevalent with Shannon and Stephen A. and Skip and all of them, right? We got too much delve into the LeBron and MJ conversation, and we could never just appreciate the basketball that we were watching, right?
Right.
And then that's when it just kind of came into like a fanboyism thing, right?
Right.
So now every player is impervious to criticism, which is just not the case, Right. I mean, and then now it's just kind of like, everything is basically like delves off the LeBron and MJ conversation. Like when we talk about we done with the 90s BS, or they had no skills back then. You go back to watch older basketball with no context. You don't know anything about the dribbling rules. So you disregard that. You disregard the fact that the era was played with two bigs. A lot of physicality was kind of allowed all the way up until probably 2017, 2018, when the freedom movement kind of came in.
Right.
But it's just like, my thing is just like a lot of basketball conversations ain't about basketball no more, D. I mean, you really can't sit there and explain people to what kind of, or if they're running chin sets, Princeton type offense or whatnot. Well, you can't have that basketball conversations no more. One, because, a lot of these sets aren't being done in basketball now. Two, because a lot of people ain't really play organized basketball that are in like the NBA conversations. So it's just like, it's just like a lot of fanboyism, you know. Like I said before, D, there's too much grouperism. It's not really about hoop, or it's not really about ball. It's just about some BS.
Right.
And then and then stat manipulation without context. Like I mean, look, all right, the average 3-point percentage right now in today's league is 37%. And right now, the average attempts is probably around what you say, maybe like, let's say 28, 30?
Yeah, 28, 30.
30 as a team. And on the higher end, like a Boston, 40.
Right.
40 nightly. I think the lower end might be 28. I think a lot of people are averaging around like 35 to 33 threes a game.
Right.
And y'all only shooting it, and then the league average is only like 35%.
For sure. As
a team. So it's just like, I mean, it's not an efficient shot. It's just more like the fact that this is what we're into. I mean, as far as this era of basketball, this is what we're into now.
Right.
It's just shooting more threes. But, I mean, if you were to tell pretty much, because if we just look at shooting percentage around every era of the league, right?
Right.
It's pretty much the same, except for the 60s. But the 60s was played different because the rules were so restrictive that there was no set offense, or just like slow down offense that you'll see in the 90s, 80s, 2000s, and even a little bit now, where you actually run offense and half court set. There was not that, because the rules are so restrictive. You can only do so much. So how they play was they would get up shots quick and then run a fast break all game, and that's pretty much why you see Wilt got those crazy numbers,
right?
Because the pace of the game was so fast like that. But that's that's what me and D gets about, because it's just like the guys with the podcast, Gil kind of being the most, outlandish about it. He already knows how to draw viewers and whatnot and kind of get that. So, disrespecting 80s guys and whatnot and people that may call him out for it. And then, you start doing your research, like the Mark Aguirre situation, you realize, Mark Aguirre got a place to talk, because he basically did the same thing like you did, Gil, and actually did it longer. So it's just like, so that's where I'm at. It's just like the fact, the NBA conversation, y'all make it feel like fanboyism too much, man. So that's why I feel like, Dominique said it, and how I always said it, like nobody's bigger than the game. So if LeBron James retires and Steph Curry eventually retires because the knee might have another knee injury, man, what y'all gonna do now? Are y'all gonna sit here and act like, or are y'all gonna treat Shea or Luka like that? Or y'all gotta talk about, or it's got to be an obsession about rings and MVPs and all these other damn accolades that kind of come down to a popularity contest? Or is it actually going to be about ball, or are we objectively going to talk about it? Because it doesn't feel that way right now. It just feels like some damn nonsense.
I think they'll move to Anthony Edwards and Ja Morant.
I
think they'll move. I think they'll move to them two. I don't think they'll move to Shea as much as Ja or Ant.
Right.
That's just my opinion. Because like I said, they're good players.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah, I get it too. That's just what the popularity is. It's just I get it, but it's just it makes basketball just kind of seem stupid and dumb. It's just well, if it's so that's what I said. If it's Ja and Ant, so what's the conversation going to be about? Because I see you already starting the Jordan comparisons now with Ant and Jordan, which is just not even close, man. Look with how Ant is as a shooter right now. He really can't compare to MJ when it comes to shooting. Even MJ coming in, and y'all used to call him MJ not having a jump shot, and it may have been true back then. Because MJ made a shot 47%,
right,
coming into the league. Man, Ant shoots 45% now, overall.
Right.
That's where we're at. And in today's league, it's just
they have two different.
Yeah.
I'm about to say they have two different skill sets. They both can attack the rim, yeah, but they both have two different skill sets.
I say because so they have similar skill sets, but what separated MJ and Ant just coming in was just knowing how to play the game. He was just more. Ant was raw coming in Georgia. He was very raw.
Right.
He wasn't a good shooter coming in, like they said. Ant percentage when he came out of Georgia, everything 15 and out he was 28%,
Right.
and he got better as a shooter. But right now, it ain't like Ant's really that much of a shooter. You can't really call Ant like a facilitator because more today's game, because like his thing is more like kick and drive, like a lot of players, because it's very simple. Pick and roll. If they pick and roll, if they sag off me, attack the rim. If they attack, if they pretty much drive with me, when I go down, I kick it out to the corner.
Right, for sure.
I mean, that's it. That's just simple basketball. But you see what Ant kind of does when he's played in a game setting with the Olympics where he doesn't have the ball in his hand. He looked lost. He just looked like he couldn't. He looked like he forced things, turn over the ball. That's where he is right now, man. And it's just like, he ain't really developed as a full player yet. He still hasn't learned the game.
I was about to say he is not like we're saying he won't produce it, because we can see that he will.
Yeah, it's just like,
I was about to say, he still got Mike Conley back there. Mike Conley is a real good player.
Right. It's right. Mike Conley is a good player and a vet, but it's just like you need more vets with different perspectives to kind of get at these young boys to tell them to look at it this way. Look at it this way. It's kind of like when Jordan broke down to Carmelo Anthony. Hey, man, you ain't got to score all your, 25 points in, 2 or 1 quarters. Think about it. Look, if you want 25, get it like this. Get 8 here in the first, 7 in the second, 15. All right. Another 8 in the third quarter. Another 8 in the third quarter. That's 23. And then worry about free throws in the fourth. Let's say you get 6 free throws, 6 points. Let's say you get, let's say 4 free throws, 4 points. All right. 23, 27. And then boom. Score, and then, like you throw it from Carmelo. All right. Now score 5 times or 4 times in the quarter. 8. Boom. Let's see. I did them. 27, 8, 27 plus 8, 35. Boom. That's how you get it, 35.
Right.
Just think about it like that.
Right.
But, and there's kind of like they started kicking out the vets in the league, like when they started making a change towards like the drive, kick, shoot, 3-point revolution, which is really like everybody trying to copy Golden State, but everybody realized that, a lot of players aren't Steph and Clay.
Right.
Yeah. No shit. So, why are you asking your team to shoot 35 threes a game if y'all don't even know where y'all could get 8 from?
Right. And
one player.
And the thing is also too, when Mike Conley's gone, how is he gonna lead these rookies? Like,
exactly.
How is he gonna lead the next rookies that's coming in the draft? You know what I'm saying? Because Dillingham and Shannon, they gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Mike Conley go, of course, focus on the point guard. Someone's got to talk to Terrence Shannon. It either has to be Ant or it has to be somebody on that team. Nikhil Alexander Walker or somebody. Because they, you know what I'm saying? They gotta learn from y'all. So are you, not saying that he isn't, but when Mike Conley leaves or when a veteran leaves.
Yeah, are you quick to take because shoot, even when Mike Conley leaves, which could be, let's say Mike Conley has maybe 2 more years in the league and then maybe a year and a half with Minnesota. Or maybe even 2. Mike Conley just might finish career. Is Ant ready to take the role of being like the vet guy and pretty much say, I'm pretty much a leader of this team. This is how it goes. We're going to put the extra effort into going to film session, getting chemistry with each other. And, are you guys going to develop a culture there, really? Because it just feels like, I don't know, it just kind of feels like in today's basketball, it's kind of like, like a vibe. They got a vibe, like that vibe check. So they had to make sure that they in a vibe to play. Right. Instead of realizing that the season is a grind and then the playoffs is a different grind as well, too. So we have to adjust, do different things and make sacrifices. Just don't feel it. Yeah. I just don't feel it with this Minnesota team.
Right.
I just kind of don't feel it. I just feel like you got a couple of boys, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got a couple of boys that definitely play hard, but can they put it all together to actually, make a run to the championship.
Right.
That's one thing. It's just like that's one thing.
And
And I
like we,
feel like, go
no, I
ahead.
was just about to say, and like we said, man, it takes a time to build a good team. Like they got a good team, but the thing is, you still got you still got a lot of things to work. Cat, Anthony Edwards, Rudy Gobert. That's still a lot of money between those two, between Cat and Rudy. Um, you gonna lose pieces. You gonna probably trade pieces. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, the leader of that team right now, I'm gonna say it. The leader of that team is Anthony Edwards right now. I think he kind of overtaken Cat
Cat
for
never
the
had
lead.
it.
He don't got it at all. I'm sorry.
Cat never had that leadership position. They was just kind of squandering before Ant kind of got there.
Right. Cause I mean, Cat's good. Like we're not saying Cat is horrible. He's a great.
No, we're saying the mentality isn't there. It's just kind of like how Jimmy Butler broke it down when his wickets were there. Untapped potential because they're not dedicated. They're not dedicated to it as much as they think they are.
Right.
To kind of get where they are in this league. So it's just like Cat wants to be a 7-footer that wants to shoot threes like 7 times a game, and at best he's only like a
32% 3-point shooter.
Well, like a little bit, maybe 39, 40.
40.
But on average, like you said, he's around like 37 to like 35, and then on a bad day, 32.
Right.
And sometimes worse. It's just like, look, man, just took the easy 2-foot shots. Not only that, you guys can create actual offense and ball movement with you being in the post and you getting like easy rebounds. Put your position, put your team in position to win. And that was just a simple reason why they lost to Dallas. They were just so damn predictable.
Right. And they put the one game that kind of just defined it all when they put Rudy on. They put Rudy on Luka.
Yeah, because they keep doing the switching. I don't know what's up with every NBA team doing like they want to switch everything on defense, and that's kind of the way the league has gone with drafted too, where they say we're going to draft these players at these certain builds or whatnot because we believe that they can defend the pick and roll better because we want to switch everything. Because to me that's just some very lazy dumbass coaching to switch everything and whatnot, and it's a lazy way to evaluate players, and that's why we got players now that can't really develop,
right?
Because of thinking like that. Because we only drafted this because you drafted this guy to be like, oh, we got him for size, for basically like for basically switching on pick and roll, and then the offense was just gonna come later. That's just very lazy ass drafting this stuff.
Right.
And I know, respect it. So it's just like that's where Minnesota's gonna at.
Yeah,
and that's where the league is at, to be honest with you, too.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to change it, where somebody says, no, we're not going to switch at it, everything. We're either going to hedge it or we're going to front it, and then we're going to dive back and we're going to dive back and rotate into our opponents to make the game harder. Like, we're not about to let you have your way with this pick and roll, especially if we realize it's the only thing that you can do.
And see, this is why I kind of love Mike Brown, too, because the way he coaches is very understanding. I think that, you know what I'm saying, like we probably just need to have them old coaches back again. And I know they some of them are gone and some of them are, still here. They can't coach like they could, but I mean, if we had old school coaches back again, I think a lot of this stuff would have been stopped.
I also believe that. So just incorporating, like allow the vets to stay in the league, man.
Right, and I think this is just one thing too. Like, if you this kind of sucks though, cause like even like a 37-year-old, that's on your team, he might not be good or he might not be what's his name. But
37's kind of crazy.
Huh?
Let's just give him 37's kind of crazy. We could give him like a coaching position or analyst.
Well, let's say if it's Udonis.
I was thinking like Kenneth Fareed could have gave us some more good years of just doing him.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, Kenna could have been dangerous.
that type of veteran, yes, like a Kenneth Faried, could have stayed longer. Yeah, he didn't have a 3-point shot and whatnot, but get very valuable hustle points, offensive boards, defense, help defense. That type of player.
Y'all forgot what Kenneth Faried was like before Jokic was there. That dude was a key nickname Manimal. That dude was a dog, bro.
I think Jabari Parker could have stayed in the league.
He could have too.
Longer, and it could have been an asset to somebody. Like I feel like Jabari was on Philly for a little bit. I feel like Jabari would have been an asset to Embiid and Ben, just to kind of get their mindset right.
Right. And speaking of,
yeah,
I was about to say, speaking of, that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about next. But like for sure, like I think that it's like we just need to have at least if you don't say 37, I mean Udonis Haslem, he was there. He was just there just to support his team, and, you know what I'm saying, and try to encourage his guys and probably teach them from his wisdom what to do for like pick and roll and stuff like that. At least keep 134, 132, 33-year-old that may not be in his prime or that might not be, doing his thing.
But just have stuff that's invaluable.
Right.
That you just can't coach it in like an 82 game season, especially when you don't have time.
Right.
You need somebody with boots to the ground that's around these boys. And that's what Haslam was. And he's been there, done that, and then pretty much lived every situation that you could think of in the NBA that these players could be going through. Right. So it's just like, that's priceless.
I'll say this too. I was thinking this as well, like, I mean, just one team just got to keep that one player. There's that one, like Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is not gonna be the starting point guard for Denver, but it's good to keep Russell Westbrook on your team because
I believe so too. I just feel like I still think Russ had some years to play, man. I think he did real good when he was on Washington. The Lakers situation was just kind of a product of they asked Russ to do this, and Russ said, "Okay, if you want me to be the third scorer, I'll be the third scorer." But what's it's going to look like now? Man, Russ just had really good moments with the Clippers, he had really good moments with the Clippers, and then I think it'll be the same thing with Denver. He'll add that same aspect, hustle, rebounds. Mm-hmm. If Denver's not really the fast breaking team, but just added Russell to it, he's gonna have guys run.
I think,
and then Russell and Jokic somehow probably end up on a rotation together, and
yeah, I think he'll average.
He's gonna be like, I'm gonna look for you. The pass is gonna be there. Just make Russ's jobs easier.
I'm about to say, I think he could average 15 and 8. 15.
You think 15?
I think he could average 15 and 8.
15-8 is flop, so I can see that.
Yeah, because and what I mean by 8, I mean he could probably get, I could say 5 rebounds and 8 assists probably. That's not a bad season for Russ, being older.
I think like you said, 5. Let's say 5 assists, 8 rebounds, 15 points, 15, 5, 8.
Yeah,
but I think that's capable for us.
Easy. The last thing we'll talk about.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the 76ers this year with them acquiring Paul George?
So Gil is the biggest fan of this 76ers team because he think about all the one-on-one matchups that we can do. Because in a real life game, everybody's just gonna sit there and watch somebody just break somebody down one-on-one.
Right.
And where we at in the game, we got a lot of people that just watch and sit instead of movement, man. But that's not playoff. That's just not playoff. That's not winning basketball. So my thing is, with this team, we're having Paul George at it. Like they said, Paul George is going to be the third option. I still got to see how Paul kind of finds his shots in this team, right?
Right.
Because I already know that Maxey. Excuse me, not Max. Yeah, Maxey. Maxey.
Yeah, Tyrese.
Yeah. Maxey and B are pretty much going to do their thing, man. You know, and B's going to get his touches. Maxey's going to get his pick and roll drive option situation, man. But y'all still missing pretty much a guard to kind of break, like when they ran into that Knicks problem. They had to rely on Kyle Lowry just to play guard because Tyronn Maxey couldn't do it. Like break down the offense, half court setting. All right, let's see if we can find some shots. Tyronn Maxey just didn't know how to do that. And a lot of people just keep trying to tell themselves that Maxey and Paul George are off-ball players, and that's just not the case.
Right.
So I just got to see how Paul George kind of finds his offense here in it.
Right.
Before I start crowning them, because I just don't believe it, to be honest with you, man. And then you still have to, I think they got some nice depth. And they got some nice depth with Covington, and I forgot some other people that they picked up. You know, Big Penguin, Drummond is kind of the backup, so you got the backup center situation figured out. But it's still, y'all run into the same problem. Like, all right, what do y'all do? What do y'all do when y'all run into these games, where you run into these fourth quarter games, which there needs to be a lot of situation, like there needs to be a lot of situation drills like this. And they need to be doing. I don't know if they still. I don't even know.
I was about to say that I need to see them play versus Boston. I really do. Boston and Milwaukee.
So that's what I'm saying. When it comes to like situations where we're going against teams like Milwaukee and Boston, and then we're in the fourth quarter, right? And we got like 5 to 6 to 7 minutes left, man. Right? How do we get these points to make it more efficient before we ask Paul George and Maxey and Embiid to just do what they do, man? Because even when one's doing what they do, man, it's still not enough to win an NBA game. It just isn't. We got to find easy shots. And, you know, they just didn't find easy shots in those Knicks games. Everything was a struggle because the Knicks were playing nice, great defense on them, and they were just relying on these hard shots, man. How do we make this easier? And it kind of falls on coaches and players to that, too, because a player can create chemistry on their own, too, or just knowing where people are being at, or knowing tendencies, and then now, like, all right, if you're going to be here, I'm going to be here. That's kind of like the next step if Paul George, Maxey, and Embiid, that three to work. Because, you know, my mindset would be, right, if I'm Paul George, I'm like, all right, Maxey, you're going to be the guy, but, you know, I think Kyle Lowry probably still be there, but you need to be around Kyle Lowry a little bit, and, you know, just kind of slow the game down, man. Because, you know, you're going to get your touches, but you got to learn how to get people involved, too, because that's just going to open up the game for you, man. So you got to learn how to attack without just needing the ball in your hands on top of the court doing your pick and roll stuff, right? And then, you know, Paul George is going to just be like, I know what I can do, but I see on this team, I could easily be like a corner guy, spot-up shooter guy. I'm going to be mostly that. And then when it's time for me to use my creativity, to get a bucket, I can do that for them. I don't need any drills with that. But I need to know how to incorporate the big guy, make sure I can get easy shots for him, easy looks for him. And that way we can probably avoid putting so much mileage on somebody that's already kind of glass anyway.
Right.
So that's kind of my approach to how this Sixers team could work. But do I feel like that's reality? Not the case.
Not the case.
Because I feel like this is just kind of like the Sixers' last stretch of making sure Embiid has something around him before he starts being malcontent of being there. So that's kind of my
And on it, I'll say that too. But Embiid gotta get busy. He gotta get healthy. He got to stay healthy. Partially, a lot of the games that they had without doggone Embiid, they lost a lot of games because they know Embiid is the main course of the meal. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I say. So
Maxey,
you gotta find. Go ahead, my bad.
I was about to say Maxey is the co-leader. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you see like not saying this disrespectfully, but you see Maxey can't do it by himself. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you got Embiid, one got to stay healthy. He can't. Also, I've said this before on the podcast. I've said this many times. Embiid got to stop blaming people. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like, we call it now the Shador effect, when he starts blaming people when he could have done better.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you know,
you're too old for that now. I'm just gonna say that shit is bogus, man. It's time for you to grow the hell up. This is what Jimmy was trying to get on you on. You can't. You come into this league thinking that you won something. You got yourself some MVPs, but at the end of the day, you haven't accomplished the main goal,
Right.
or even gotten close to sniffing it yet, man. So
Right.
it's just like you haven't arrived as much as you think you have.
Right. And
So it's just like you said, the blame game needs to stop. You need to look upon yourself because your immaturity hasn't been helping as well either.
and I'll say too that MVP, a lot of people just thinking that he was given that MVP just because he complains too much. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just like man, go ahead.
Oh, how the MVP, his attitude was. My thing is, like you said, he kind of got the MVP from complaining too much, and he did deserve it at one point. But it's just like the year that you won it, you made sure that what you did was for MVP numbers, and you underperform in the playoffs, and they get hurt. The year that you say you don't care about the MVP, you do the same antics where it's just like in these last couple of games you try to play, and be like, oh, I don't care about the MVP. But then you in the contention with Jokic to see his numbers, and we obviously see it and whatnot. And then what happens? You get hurt.
And then that same year he won. I mean, Jokic won the championship.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
So it's just like you're forgetting the goal, man. You're here to win games.
Right. Here to win games. It's not about you. It's your team, but it's not all about you. You know what I'm saying? It's not the Philadelphia Embiiders. It's the Philadelphia 76ers. So all the guys that's wearing the 76ers jersey, whether that's the black one, the throwback one, whatever jersey it is, man, like that's the whole team. That's not the Joel Embiid, Joel 76ers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
look, man, you will learn the hard way because Joel, he'll be, Dion, Joel will be one of the old guys one day, and he'll talk about his Sixers days, and there'll be another young cat that actually gets the Sixers over the hump. They win a championship. He's forgotten.
Oh, that just make his resume worse.
Mm-hmm.
Doggone, imagine if let's see if one of these cats from the draft come in, you know what I'm saying? Because Embiid is in his 30s now, so
yeah.
Like, doggone, imagine if one of these cats from the draft comes in here, becomes at least on Joel Embiid's level, maybe even better, and they take them past the hump, past Milwaukee, past Boston, past Toronto. Let's say if Toronto becomes one of those.
Good again, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Orlando, whatever. Just like we talk hypotheticals, but yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy. I'm telling you. And B got to stop complaining. I hope Paul George walk up to him and talk to him about that too.
I don't even think Paul's the guy to even have the wherewithal to kind of tell him that. To be honest with you, maybe because Paul George probably don't see it. Like Paul George probably won't see it. Maybe not until he gets there and sees it for himself. But will he be the one to tell him straight up and be like? And because Paul had a couple of vets that taught him the right way, but it's like we'll see. We'll see. But like you just said, it's just like I think Joel's gonna learn that once let's just say the Sixers, like you said, find somebody else that's just as good as Embiid, just confident, but actually backs it up, more mature. He's here to win. They finally get over that hump. They just forget about Embiid all in general. He's going to be one of them guys that has to learn the hard way like that, where it's just like, whatever. I don't care. Yeah, you got a lot of individual success, but guess what? This guy got us over the hump. Yeah, we don't care.
Right. It's not like the Spurs. It's not like when you had Duncan David Robinson, and then he won the championship. And then, Tim next year just Tim next couple of years win 5 championships or 4 other championships. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You got to get you a championship so that if that other cat walks into the 76ers organization and he becomes like you or better than you, and he wins a championship, then like he'll be like, oh yeah, okay, my name is not forgotten.
Yep. Old news. Joel who?
Okay.
Yeah, he had a lot of individual success here, but who cares? We were like second round exit.
second
Sometimes
round
first.
exits every single time Embiid, or not every single time, but every single time Joel Embiid is in the playoff, second round exit or doggone first round exit. You know, so
He got hurt.
He got hurt.
And it's just like, they just like, man, whatever.
Right.
Whatever.
And then imagine again if the other cat is healthy and he's consistent. He might be losing like.
He's gonna be sour. He's gonna be like them. He's gonna, like the young people think. He's gonna be like the old head that's really hating. Oh no, I get talk about Joel's personality. He is that type of person. That if somebody in the 76ers franchise poses a threat to him, which ain't that hard, because all you got to do is just win and to get past. Let's just say even get into Eastern Conference Finals. He'll become like a second thought.
Right, he would.
It ain't always about individual talent, man. And that's where Gil gets lost. It's just like, what have you done for me lately? What have you done to win? It's just like that. That's what matters. I'm sorry. Like, we play to win this game. That's it. You can be irrelevant. Like, you can be easily irrelevant no matter how much individual success you have for your team. If it hasn't related to results. So, I'm sorry. That's just the case.
Right. Just like how Kobe took that, was it 2010 team? He did it.
Yeah.
He did it with Pau Gasol, but like
2010 to 2009. Yeah.
Yeah, like.
And it's like, yeah. So LeBron already knew the standard coming in. It's just like, you can break the scoring record here, but you better win something.
Yeah, you better win.
They won that bubble championship. But
yeah.
Overall, yeah.
Thankfully he won that Cleveland championship, because if he just, like I told Ro, if he just went to Miami, won those 2 championships and never won championships since that time,
we look at him differently. Very much so, yeah.
But he took Cleveland to like 3 straight championships.
I was glad he won that championship in Cleveland. I did want that for him. I said, man, you do need. I realized he knows you need this. You didn't want to have that Miami stack the deck legacy on you.
Right, for sure.
Shoot, you hear Wade on the podcast even talk about it too. Because everybody has to take sacrifices when you build a deck like that. And Wade's a competitor too. But shit, you ask me, I was there. Wade was considered the third. You could consider the third, second, the first best player between 2007 to 2010,
right,
in 2011. So it's just like,
yeah, and I always say this: that's Wade's team. I know a lot of LeBron fans gonna hate me for saying that, but that's Wade's team. I don't care what no one says.
He took too much sacrifice for not to be called his team. So it's
right.
Like, LeBron played the person. No, don't get me wrong. LeBron did this thing there and whatnot. He was the guy. But it's just like, we talk about just from sacrifice, actually taking a pay cut.
Right. And could have just
sacrifices their game.
Right.
It's Wade's team.
Yeah. So, like we said, Embiid gotta be that guy. He's had too many people on his teams.
You gotta play to win. Y'all gotta play to win this time, man. By any means necessary, man.
Right.
You got a championship in Kyle Lowry. Like, ask him questions, make him feel involved. Like, we're gonna listen to you. We want to know how to do this the right way, Kyle. Like, what is y'all doing in Toronto with Kawhi? Just to kind of do it and just listen to the small things and just go about it, man. Put all egos aside, and then maybe y'all could make some noise. I think they can. It's just like, and y'all get over your own damn mediocrity within yourselves. And all of us have a mediocre side to our damn self that just kind of stop us from achieving greatness. Can y'all overcome that? Because that's pretty much what your ego is.
Right. And like I said, can y'all play team basketball? Embiid, you might have to score 25. Paul George may have to score 20. Maxey might have to score 22.
Hey, and then the bench might have a night where they score like a total of 35 themselves. It's like, to me, it sounds like a good ass day. Feel me?
Hell
Feel
yeah.
me, D?
Hell yeah. For sure. Like we said, we gonna be watching. We gonna be watching when the NBA season comes back for sure. That it comes back in October, does it? OG.
We'll see, man.
Yeah, we gonna see.
We gonna see. I just want to see some competitive basketball this season. I feel like we finally got some parity in this league. You're gonna have like a lot of young boys surprise you, like Orlando. And watch out for Houston because Houston was very close.
Oh yeah, they some dogs down there.
Houston was very close to getting y'all Golden State boys out of the side of the play-in, man. Y'all, it came down to 6 or 7 games.
It came down to
it
play.
did, and then y'all look. I mean, and then some of y'all internet fans, y'all didn't have no logical sort of argument to it. Y'all argument was that they can't leave Golden State out. All right, you got one more. You got 1 year of that, sir.
Yeah,
you got 1 year of things talking about you can't leave Golden State out. Watch this year. If Golden State struggles again, I'm sorry, the fanboyism for Steph that y'all got, that shit ain't gonna matter.
And to be honest, I think Sacramento gonna be a problem in the West too. So
I think so too.
You gotta. I'm telling you, it's some dogs that you think that would not be in the playoffs 7 years ago. Houston, Houston would go consistently.
Houston would win. Orlando now, y'all see you can see Orlando building something special.
Right. Like we said, Franz and Paulo, them guys got it over there.
And then like you said, Sacramento, who was just like they had injuries basically in the last half of the season where they started just falling out the race, which kind of also propelled Dallas to move up in the standings too. Really,
right?
So Dallas was basically within that 8th and 7th and 6th seed, basically, until they kind of broke away on that easy part on the last part of their schedule where it was kind of easy because they was going against below 500 teams and they won the games they were supposed to against the 500 teams. So it's just man, don't be surprised this year, man. There's a lot of parity around the East and West.
It's a lot of parity. A lot of parity. NFL and NBA and college football. Y'all, this is just talking real quick because we're about to end this podcast. But Arizona State almost lost to Texas State yesterday.
They sure did.
We seen Northern Illinois beat Notre Dame. You know what I'm saying? A lot of parity is happening this year in sports. And
hear that?
Like you said, man. But yeah, man, DSJ Podcast, man, we thank y'all so much, man. We hope that y'all enjoyed. We're sorry for not doing a podcast for 2 weeks. Like I said, y'all wanted a podcast this week. I'll try to get this out. May not do the normal editing because I'm trying to get this out. I promised y'all that I was gonna get it out. But yeah, man, we finally got OG doing his own podcast. You know, y'all know OG, but y'all don't know him from his personal life story and sports. Sports talk. For sports talk, but again, man, OG, thank you so much. You already know. I don't know if y'all know, but we gonna be doing the Alabama. Well, OG, I don't know if you gonna do it, but we gonna be doing the Alabama Georgia. I'm gonna be doing the Alabama Georgia game live stream. He gonna be there. Well, we both gonna be doing it. Probably rolling in DC. You got to show up too.
We gonna
be doing a live stream for that game. Sorry that there's been a few people that's asked us that they wanted a live stream for the LSU South Carolina game. Sorry, got to take a break, mentally, physically drained.
Yep.
I'm still going to have to be here after the podcast recording because I got to get some stuff done, personally. Right. So with that being said, again, thank y'all so much. We hit 400 subs. Thank y'all for the support. Thank y'all for the, for just basically interacting with me in person. If you are in here at school or, email, just texting me from recent podcasts or so. OG, you got anything to say before we go?
Yeah, 2 things, man. Hey, DC, sent you a gift in your DMs on Instagram, man. Just go ahead and take a look at it. And second of all, just kind of ending note for today's podcast, which I feel like kind of encompasses everything that we talked about, even my personal life. The small details matter to where you want to go. So just do it. Right,
for sure. Anything that you got planned out, go ahead and plan it. You can achieve it. You just got to work hard for it. With that being said, DSJ Podcast, we love y'all. We thank y'all so much, man. Again, there will be a live stream next week. We're going to take it easy. There may be some reviews that come out Sunday. We're going to be probably talking about LSU South Carolina game or so. But with that being said, again, hopefully y'all enjoy. And we're out. Boom.